In this example, we're going to start off by listing all of the coalitions for a weighted voting system with 3 players. The first thing that you want to do is list all of the coalitions that only have 1 player. Our first coalition then would have player 1 in it. The next coalition would be player 2 by themselves, and then player 3 also alone. Next, list all the coalitions with 2 players. So we'll start off with player 1 and also include player 2, and then player 1 with player 3. Now we have all of the coalitions with 2 players that include player 1, so now go to player 2. So we would have player 2. Player 2 is already in a coalition with player 1, so then player 2 with player 3. And these are all of our coalitions that contain 2 players. Now we'll list the last coalition, the coalition that contains all of the players. So this is a list of all the possible coalitions that we can have with 3 players. Example 1, we have the weighted voting system described by a quota of 101. The weights of the players are 99, 98, and 3. We want to complete the table below so that we can compute the Banzhaf Power Distribution. So one thing that I wanted to make clear was when we use the word distribution, we're talking about the power of all of the players together. If we use the word index, we're talking about the power of one individual player in a weighted voting system. So just P1 by themselves has a weight of 99. 99 does not meet the quota, so that would be a losing coalition, and we don't need to worry about critical players. Critical players is a player who, if removed, will cause the coalition to change from a winning coalition to a losing coalition. So if the coalition starts out as a losing coalition, we don't need to worry about who the critical player is. Player 2 alone has a weight of 98. That's a losing coalition, and so again we don't need to worry about who the critical player is. Player 3 alone has a weight of 3. That's a losing coalition, and so again, no need to worry about a critical player there. Player 1 and 2 together, so that would be 99 plus 98, which is 197. This is a winning coalition, so we need to determine who the critical player or players are. So if we were to remove player 2, would it still be a winning coalition? If player 2 is removed, then the weight would only be 99 because only player 1 would be in the coalition. So it would lose if player 2 is removed. Same thing would happen if we remove player 1. If we remove player 1, it would only be player 2 in the coalition, and the weight would then only be 98, and so it would then change from a winning coalition to a losing coalition. So both player 1 and player 2 are critical in this coalition. Player 1 and 3 together, so 99 plus 3 gives us a total of 102. This is a winning coalition. If we were to remove player 3, player 1 alone only has a weight of 99, which would not meet our quota, so it would lose. Same with if we remove player 1, the weight would only be 3, and so it would be a losing coalition. So removal of either of these players would cause the coalition to change from a winning coalition to a losing coalition, so they're both critical players. So player 1 and player 3. The coalition containing players 2 and 3, so the weight would be 98 plus 3, which is 101. This is exactly equal to the quota, so obviously if we remove either of these players, it will change this from a winning coalition to a losing coalition. So both players 2 and 3 are critical. And the last one, the coalition containing all 3 players. If we remove, so the weight of this, is 99 plus 98 plus 3. And 99 plus 98 plus 3 is a total of 200. This is a winning coalition. If we remove player 3, that will only bring the weight down by 3, so that would be a weight of 197. It's still a winning coalition. If we remove just player 2, then the weight would be 99 plus 3, which is 102. That's still a winning coalition. And if we remove player 1, the weight would be 98 plus 3, which is 101, still a winning coalition. And so none of the players are critical in this coalition. To find the Banzhaf Power Distribution, we need to count up how many times each player was critical, and then divide it by the total number of players that were critical. So we'll list those up here. So player 1 was critical 2 times. Player 2 was critical once here and once here, so 2 times. And player 3 was critical once here and once here, so also 2 times. So our total is 2 plus 2 plus 2, or 6. And to find the index of each player, or the distribution, so the distribution again is when we refer to all 3 of them together. The index for player 1 is going to be 2 divided by 6. And that reduces down to 1/3. You always want to give this in reduced form. And also player 2 would be 1/3, and also player 3 would be 1/3. They were all critical twice. So here is our Banzhaf power distribution. They all have the same amount of power, even though their weights are very different. Player 1 has a weight of 99, player 2 98, and player 3 only has a weight of 3, but still has just as much power or control in this weighted voting system. So that's it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day.